Hey everybody, Hitch here at Autohitch.com. If you are new to the channel, welcome. It is nice to meet you. If you have been here before, seen any of our videos, read any of our articles, thanks for coming back. Today we're going to jump right into it, as I usually try to do without droning on too much, and we're going to talk about CarGurus, okay? Specifically, we're going to talk about the pricing, and we're going to answer kind of the overall arching question, which I usually get, and it's somewhat similar to TrueCar, even though because TrueCar is a little bit more mysterious and a little bit more different than a lot of other products. People tend to ask more questions about it. But we're going to answer the overall, a big question about CarGurus, right? Are they out for me? You know, big question I see, and kind of one of the titles I used here is, you know, is CarGurus legit? Okay, is it the real deal? Are they really looking out for me? They have this pricing software that they use. Is that the truth? You know, when it says great deal, as you can see here, great deal, you know, and good deal. I think I have down here, yeah, you know, fair deal, high price. You know, how honest are those things? You know, what are those based off of? We're going to answer those for you today. And of course, as usual, I'm going to try to keep that down and answer that as directly and quickly as possible so you can get back onto your car search, because I know that's what you're here for. You don't want to spend 20-30 minutes on CarGurus. So let's jump right into it. Okay, CarGurus, just a little bit of a short background for you. Started by a gentleman named Leslie Steinert. I believe that's how you say his last name. He was the co-founder of Travelocity. Actually, no, I'm sorry, TripAdvisor. He was the co-founder of TripAdvisor, had a nice exit out of that, got paid a good sum of money, and he went to start another business, of course, a software website business, and this is what he started, CarGurus, back in about, I believe it was 05, 06. They started kind of as a blog information thing, switched over from that, became a car listing site, and they're what you see today. Now, they have kind of two claims to fame that keep them different, okay? The first one is going to be their pricing software. Now, they have supposedly something that tells you what a fair deal is, what a great deal is, what a good deal is, and what bad deals are, even though they technically took that term out. They have this thing that supposedly helps the average car buyer understand, is the price good, is it not? You know, that's everyone's great question. Hey, here's a price. What does that mean to me? How does that compare to all the other ones out there? And especially in used cars, that can get confusing. Why is this one priced more than the other one? It looks the same to me. CarGurus supposedly has a way they can answer that, and they use what's called the instant market value, or IMV calculation. Okay, that's one of their big claims to fame. The other one is that they're transparent. You know, they bring transparency to car buying. Okay, now, you know, is that true? Is it not? They did do something that set them apart from everyone, and what they did is they introduced what you may see everywhere now, which is how long a car's been on a lot. They put that in their listings. It upset a lot of car dealers early, okay, which made them very popular with car buyers, but it eventually got adopted by most of the websites because they realized that people like to see that. Obviously, it's an advantage if you're trying to negotiate for a car, right? Hey, I know it's been here for 3 months, man. You don't want it to continue to stay here. Give me a deal. So that's been adopted by most of the websites. Therefore, the dealers kind of jump back on board to it, on board with it, and therefore jump back on board with CarGurus, and that's helped them become more and more popular. They revolutionized at least that little segment there, and it gave them that sort of branding of, hey, we're bringing transparency, right? We're showing you things no one ever showed you before. So in that sense, yes, they did do that. Do they still do it today? I don't know about that. There's really nothing more that they've introduced as far as that transparency I think is of any value to you, but they would contend that they do, and I'll let you decide by looking through there. But let's get back to the more important thing, right? Let's kind of stick with maybe the segment as we go to the article here, just kind of keep it in order as we go down. I'm not going to read this word for word. Don't worry about that. I'm just kind of, this is a video to accompany the article that we wrote. So if you want specific, if you want to get more in detail, you can go back to the article, or just, you could stay here, listen to me kind of talk you through it. This is the summary synopsis of it. Okay. They have what they break down with their instant market value, which is great deal, good deal, fair deal, high price, or overpriced. Okay. The first clue to what they are is that they actually, is to what CarGurus is, sorry, is that they changed these right here, high price and overpriced. They didn't used to be that way. Okay, it actually great, good, fair used to be bad, and I think something else. Okay, and a lot of dealers said, hey, it's not working out for me. That you're saying I'm giving people a bad price here or a bad deal. Yeah, I need you to kind of soften that up. And of course, it's going to have a negative connotation to it. But come on, let's use something that let's do some research here and see what people don't respond as bad to, and let's use that terminology. So they changed it. Now, why that's a clue to what CarGurus is, a lot of people think, they see the commercials, they think CarGurus is on my side, right? They're that transparent company that's kind of working for me. They're that true middleman the automotive industry's never had. Well, now they work for the dealers, okay? They have that obligation because that's where most of their income is from, is dealer subscriptions. So when the dealers say something's not really working out for us, they're going to tend to it. Okay. Now listen, that's not a bad thing. And I'm going to again say that. And then that's why I put a little disclaimer here. CarGurus is a business. They have every right to make money. And they're going to do that. Okay. And you also need to kind of understand, as a car buyer, when you have these businesses, they need to make money. They're going to charge someone. And I think, given the opportunity, most of the car buyers I've dealt with, and I'm sure you at the same time, if they're going to send a bill to someone, you're probably going to hope that they send it to the dealership and not charge you for their services, right? So if that's the way it's going to work, you're going to have to kind of give in to the fact and understand they're going to owe the dealership something for that money, right? They're going to have to service them for that money. The dealerships can't just pay them to beat them down all the time. That's what got TrueCar in trouble, right? Now, if you go back and read watch our TrueCar review or read our article on TrueCar review, that's what happened to them. They are now servicing the dealerships, okay? Even though they still market themselves as someone who's on your side, all right? So again, CarGurus isn't doing anything unfair here. They're a business. They have to service the people who are keeping their lights on, right? And helping their company grow. Now, here's something that I'm going to tell you, a little insight, something most dealers don't even know about CarGurus. Okay, I did a little test a while back, and I did it using a dealership that I know, some people at a dealership that I know, right? I signed on, hid my IP address, and I did that specifically so that any tracking or any cookies or anything like that, CarGurus would have no idea. They would just think brand new user. Okay, I created an account, a new account. I searched for and found only one car at this particular dealership. So I searched for a car that was at this dealership. I went right to that dealership and I submitted a lead to only that dealership, and then I signed off. That's all I did. Okay. And I did that for a reason, because I wanted to see what would happen after that. Okay. How would they treat me? And what actually happened was I got a lot of emails, and pretty much just emails. Yeah, I got a lot of emails. And they were for mainly vehicles at other dealerships, okay? There didn't seem to be a focus on, hey, you showed interest in this dealership, let's kind of feature this dealership, right? Maybe you want to do business with this dealership, maybe they're closer to you, which they actually were. It was, I won't get into the brand, but they actually were physically closer to me, all right? So you would think that, hey, here's a company that's helping a car buyer. I went to one dealership, it's the closest one to me of that brand. You think CarGurus, at least at first, maybe second, wait till maybe a week or two later, right? At least at first, they would say, let's help this guy get into this particular dealership. It seems to be the best one for him. That's not what happened. I got emails that basically pushed that dealership out of the way and sent me to multiple other dealerships, some that were 45 minutes away, okay? And most dealers don't even know that that's happening. They think, oh, there's a listing thing, somebody comes to my car, CarGurus is going to help me sell that car. No, CarGurus is going to help CarGurus. And how CarGurus helps CarGurus is by making sure that that person continues to visit other dealerships. Okay? And here's where we get to the truth of how CarGurus makes money, which is something a lot of people want to know, especially with all these websites, right? Because it's kind of the secret when you're trying to figure out, is this company being honest? Are they really on my side? Well, how do they make money? And that usually will answer our question about who is it that they serve, right? Who's their ultimate master? So when you think about you clicking around, that's how CarGurus makes money. Okay, it's very difficult for CarGurus to go to a dealership and say, listen, I'm responsible for this, and this sale this week or this month or whatever. Okay, and that's how they do it. They're subscription based, so they have a contract, and in a certain period of time, they'll go to the dealer and say, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Dealer, we're going to raise your prices because we're responsible for delivering you this many traffic, this much traffic, and this many more car sales." Okay, and the dealer, of course, is going to fight that, and the dealer's going to say, wait a second, let's be a little more critical here." And the problem that CarGurus and even AutoTrader, Cars.com have, any listing site in general, is how do you take credit for an individual sale? You really can't, right? And I get into that here and I say, listen, you might have searched on CarGurus, then you went to AutoTrader, and then later on you went to the dealer's website, and who knows where the heck else you went. How is it that CarGurus, for example, can say, well, we're responsible for that sale? Well, AutoTrader can track that customer. The dealer on their own website has tracking for that customer, and that customer may have gone to several other websites. So how do we know which one actually was the convincing factor? Oh, well, it was something on the dealer's website that sold me on that car. No one can really say for sure. And most car buyers don't even know. I had cars when I was a dealer, for those of you that haven't been through any of my other videos. And I would have people that say, "Oh yeah, where did you see the ad?" Just, out of curiosity, right? I'm trying to, hey, if more people are saying I saw it here, I'm going to show an emphasis towards that channel. And they would say, I saw it on the internet. Well, okay, that doesn't really help anybody. Excuse me. But yeah, so that's a problem that companies like CarGurus have. So what they end up doing is they fall back on what they can prove, which is traffic. And that's where we get into you going around and clicking on multiple dealerships. See, if you go to one dealership like I did, you find your car, you buy it, great. Purpose served, right? And they'll be able to show that you had traffic, but then they're going to run into that same problem. They can't really prove they made that sale. But they haven't gotten everything they can out of you, because if they can send you that email like they did me and get you to at least click on 3 or 4 other dealerships' websites, what they've essentially done is kind of what you do in football. And right now it happens to be Super Bowl time. It's January 30th. And you pad your stats, right? That's what they're doing. They're padding their stats with the dealer. Why show one dealer that we got them traffic when we can use that same buyer to show 5 of our dealers in the area that we got all of them traffic? Okay. And that, to me, from my test and what I've seen using the product, and again, that's why I did what I did. I ran the experiment I did because I wanted to see how their system worked. It seems to be designed to keep you searching and to keep you clicking, which, usually kind of fights against what you're trying to do, right? You don't want to spend days and weeks and hours and all this time searching. You want to find a car, you want to get to it, you want a company and a product that's going to help you close that deal, because the process stinks and you want to get in and out of it as much as possible. Most people anyway. Some crazy people out there enjoy it, but most people just want to get in and out of it. But that doesn't benefit companies like CarGurus, because they can't show you going around all these other places. And believe me, when they go to a specific dealer and say, we got you this many clicks this month, they do not go through that data for that dealer and say, but that person also clicked on all of your competition, right? Because then what are you doing for me at that point? If I'm the dealer, what are you doing for me? Well, yeah, you're sending them to me, but you're also sending them to everybody else that I'm competing with. And the dealers don't know that. So, but why that's important for you if you're a car buyer is, of course, they're kind of working against you at that point, right? Serving the different master, that's how they make money. Just kind of answering the question that most people have. So that may have pertained to you, it may not have. But anyway, continuing on. Which website takes credit? Oh no, we're already doing that. Okay, so here's where we get kind of the meat of things, right? Really what's going to lay it out for you, what's going to bother you or maybe not bother you about CarGurus. I'm going to vote for bother. CarGurus pricing, okay? Here's an example here. Now, I pulled these from the computer and kind of enlarged them, so bear with me on just how great of an image quality we have here, all right? But you guys know with fine print and automotive, it's really, really, really small. So I have to blow it up. It's not going to look good. But here's something I found on, just one thing I found so far on one of the listings, okay? And you can see here, here's the price history of the vehicle. And remember, we talked about this is something that CarGurus does. They show you the pricing history of the car and how long it's been on the lot and blah, 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 right? Well, look at the little disclaimer, price history comprises prices posted on CarGurus for this vehicle. Prices may exclude certain taxes, fees, and/or charges. See seller for details. Well, listen, if all this pricing excludes all the fees and all the charges and all the taxes and all the other things that the dealer can tack on, then what in the heck of value does it have to me? It's meaningless. A number without anything to back it up, which is essentially what they're saying. Here's a number, but we can't back it up. What value does that have to you? I would argue it doesn't really have any. You may feel differently. Hey, I'm here to just supply the information and you make the best judgment. But when I see a disclaimer like this that essentially is saying my numbers aren't backed up by everything that's available, then it's not really a statistic. It's not really a number. It's advertising. That's all it is. And I'll get into that in a little bit more. So let's continue on and get a little bit more detailed, okay? This is another disclaimer that you'll see, and we're actually going to go through one of these. I'm going to show you how to find one of these if you don't find this disclaimer. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, here's another disclaimer, okay? A little bit further into one of the ads. Although every reasonable effort has been made to ensure the accuracy of the information contained on this site, okay, let me stop again. Once again, CarGurus is saying, hey, we tried. Well, but that's not what you're giving me numbers here, and you're telling me the numbers don't mean anything. You tried to make the numbers mean anything. Well, I'm spending a lot of money. I don't want to know that you tried to give me accurate data. I want accurate data, right? Anyway, continuing on. Absolute accuracy cannot be guaranteed. Dealer is not responsible for errors and omissions. Well, wait a second. You're not responsible, CarGurus. The dealer's not responsible. Who's responsible? Apparently nobody. So I can do anything. I can make any feelings, interpretations, or draw any conclusion off of the data that I'm getting off of CarGurus. You're telling me you have this IMV, this big system. You take all this data, crunch it together, deliver it to me, and then tell me it means nothing. And that you also don't back it up, and that neither will the dealer. I don't know. I think that's not very helpful, but again, I'm just presenting you with the information. I'm presenting you with the details here as they are on an actual listing on this website. You guys make up your own opinion. All vehicles are subject to prior sale. Price does not include applicable sales tax, title, license plate, pre-delivery service charge of $899. This charge represents cost and profit of the dealer, blah, blah, blah. Inspecting, cleaning, adjusting vehicles, preparing documents related to the sale. Electronic service charge of $299. This charge represents cost and profit to the dealer for items such as inspecting, cleaning, adjusting vehicles, and preparing documents related to sale. And a private tag agency fee of $89. When I had my dealership, albeit it was a small one, I did my own tag and title work. And even when I didn't, and I had a lot to do, and I gave it to an agency to do, it did not cost me $89. So I'm not sure why those cost so much, but they're typically non-negotiable. But anyway, that was a little digression. But there you go. You have fees now that are adding up to about $1,300, right? Well, here's the problem. If you go to a listing, and let's go over here to the listing, okay? And you see good deal, $27,999, okay? Now, without getting into this particular vehicle, let's say you have good deal, $27,999. Now, add $1,300 to that price, and that's only $1,300. We're not even getting into what might happen if you're financing the vehicle at that dealership. We're not getting into God only knows what else. Who knows if you get there and they say, "Hey, I'm sorry, we installed tint and rims and this and that, and you got to pay for that, by the way." So who knows what else is there? Just with what we've seen so far in the disclaimer, if you add $1,300, what do you think is going to happen to that average, that rating and that average? It's probably going to go down, maybe to a fair deal, right? Maybe even lower. But I want you to make note of something here, okay? I did a regular search in my zip code here. Again, we're in South Florida, 33309, F-150, most popular truck in the country. Radius 50 miles, okay? I didn't adjust any of this other stuff. I want you to look at this for a second, right? We have an honest rating system, okay? Good deal, fair deal, fair deal. Look at all the green. Great deal, 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 fair deal. The entire first page is full of fair to great. Now I have best deals first. That's how it's presented to me. But something just screams out to me, right? That if I'm getting presented with honest information and honest stuff, why am I being blasted with a page that's, wow, every deal's great, right? Let's just reverse it. Let's say worst deals first. Now I'm on the worst deals first. Okay, so I have my sponsors here. They're always going to have those, right? Overpriced, 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 overpriced. We're down. Let's see how many of these we have left. So we have page 1 of 79. I wonder if it'll show us 1 through 15 how many. Oh God, I don't want to keep you guys on this video that long while I try to figure something out here. What I'm really trying to get to is how many pages. Let me see if I can do this. Do we have to go to get to no price analysis? That's good. Okay, so we've pretty much gotten to no price analysis. What I'm trying to determine here, everybody, is how many out of all these listings, okay, how many are fair to good, okay? Because what that's going to show me is, let's go down to no price analysis, because without that information, they're essentially neutral. They're saying can't really tell you anything, so it's kind of the same thing. Let's see the first page that gives us, okay, uncertain. I'll kind of look at that as a negative. So this is the first page of anything that's negative, okay? Showing 181 to 195. So 195 listings out of 1,171 have any negative connotation to them. Now, you're skeptical. You're here because you're probably skeptical of dealers, right? You're trying to figure out prices, and you know that the dealer's always throwing out a price where they're making the first price is not the best price. Okay, I don't care what they say. The first price is not the best price. That's the price where they're comfortable at making the money they want to make from the jump. You can work down from there. All right. If that's the way you feel about the market, why would you have 1,171 listings, but only 195 of them are questionable to bad? That to me kind of signals that people are gaming the system, and the way that they're doing that is with this, right? They're taking that price, they're deducting all of their fees out of it because CarGurus allows them to do that. Okay, CarGurus allows them to say, yeah, you don't have to put in your fees and your service charges and all this other mumbo jumbo. Just give us a price, all right? Price for the car. And what that does is it confuses you. It gives you a number up front. You get happy about that number. You start picturing yourself in that car. You get emotionally attached to being in that car. You show up at the dealership. You find out that other stuff is being added on, but you're so emotionally involved and inside of that vehicle, you're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. Maybe negotiate a little bit of it down, but in general, you're going to pay more than you thought you would. Tell me that hasn't happened to you before, or that doesn't happen, or that you're not really, really afraid of that happening when you do go to the dealership, okay? I know because I can't tell you how many people, just personal friends of mine, have called me and said, hey man, look up this car for me on CarGurus. I looked it up, did all this stuff, and then I don't hear from them. They never tell me, hey, I was able to buy it, hey, I was able to do this. I call them back like a week or two later when it kind of rings a bell. I say, hey man, what happened to that? Oh, I call them and it was like $2,000 more than it actually was. That's the game, okay? And because of that, the final conclusion I have about CarGurus, okay, is that it is marketing and advertising. It's marketing and advertising, maybe not 101, but it's marketing and advertising 102. And for those of you in the real world, the real Lindas out there, man, 102 means that you've just graduated and you're doing just a different type of marketing and advertising, but you're doing the same darn thing. And it's what we just kind of covered. Get you in the door with something juicy, and then lay out all the stuff you don't want to hear. Bring it up from there. You're already in our door. Just like a lot of business, actually, and let me put this out there, just like any business in sales, the idea is to get you in the door. The objective is to get you in the door. CarGurus is helping the dealers do that. That's why they're They had a valuation. I think the most recent one I found was like $3.5 billion. They're a publicly traded company, launched an IPO. They're in Canada. They're in Europe, expanding. They're blowing up and taking on AutoTrader and Cars.com. And they'll tell you they have more people than Cars.com visiting their, and AutoTrader visiting their website. They're doing that well because they're friendly with the dealer and they're helping the dealer do what everyone else used to help the dealer do, and that's marketing and advertising. They're just doing it in a different way. They're doing it in a way that makes you think they're trusted, gets you to trust them. And if you look at their commercials, you can see that. All right. So that's the general opinion I have, guys. Kind of went over all that for you. This article is here if you guys want to look at it. Again, we have other articles. If you have any questions, if you agree with anything I said, don't agree with anything I said, please let me know. If you guys have used CarGurus, let me know in the comments. If you haven't, let me know that in the comments too. Okay. This is kind of going to give me an idea. Hey, am I on the right track for this? Because this is just based off what I know in my personal experience using it, testing it, and helping people that have interacted with it. Okay. But maybe you had a different experience, but please share that. And hey, if I'm wrong, I can reflect that in everything we're doing here. Because as I always say in every one of my things, it's not necessarily to bash anybody. It's not just to lay it out there and say, hey, this is what this product is. This is what this service is. It's to give you the information and let you guys decide what the best course of action is for you to buy your vehicle, right? So it's been good, guys. And again, anything, just let me know, let us know. We'll get back to you as soon as possible, but it's been great talking to you again. And until the next video, until the next article, happy hunting out there for your next car.